We can move in some more. We can move in.
Yeah, you guys together. I barely.
Tania, or could you help me move this table? Yeah. Help me just move that table. It's not sitting up.
Good old maid. I can't see myself. Wait, but what do you lose? But what do you lose? So then that's that. Remember we did that music. That's that. They got to sit on the corner. Are you doing 4?
Oh, well, where did you just move? I can see him right here.
They're going to move to the corner.
You got to do corners. That's the same thing we had with McCarthy.
Okay.
You got to do that.
All right.
No, you're good. You just whoever's here has to. Is this you?
We can get rid of those. They can have one. You can leave it, but I don't need it. And can you hand me that coffee over there?
Coming back for that part?
No, I can't help it.
You're welcome.
You know what we need to start doing? Putting an X on the Dunkin' Donuts. So they give us our...
Do them thumbprint.
All right, y'all. How's everybody doing? We good. Getting ready to start. Oh, I'm not talking to y'all. I'm in the studio audience. But actually, you know what? We can probably engage everybody. Are all of our guests here, Sonia? Or who's going to be here with us? Okay.
Right.
We are going to be starting in a minute. Just doing some audience building. For those of you that are watching on Facebook Live, please take a moment, share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. What's up to Rod Crowder? What's up to Thimby? What up? Thimby, are you all the way from Seattle, man? Good stuff, man. What's up? Eddie, I want to talk to you. Eddie Jones, what's up? Nanette Jones, John Rember, Kahinde. What's up, my man? What's up, Anthony Robinson? All right, y'all, we are about to get ready in the den. What is this, our 4th episode or 5th? 5th, okay.
6.
We'll talk about it. All right, y'all. Are you ready? Okay. So I'm going to be talking to... All right. Well, it is 7:30. So let's get ready to get started. What's up with that door? Okay, thank you very much. Make sure that we are here. Our studio audience is clear. So am I having 3 guests or 2? Because I can center 3. I've got 2 guests. Okay. All right, y'all. You ready? Well, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Get ready. This is our 5th edition of In the Den. I am your host, Maze Jackson, and if you do not know, I am the host of the top-rated, that's right, did I say it right? The top-rated WVON morning show. In case y'all did not hear, the Amazon poll came in, 26,000 people voted, and Chicago, the #1 station in the #1 morning show. And let me be clear, I ain't talking about the #1 radio show. I am talking about the #1 morning show. Look at here. We whooped on everybody. When I tell you we whooped on everybody, we whooped on everybody. We whooped on Channel 2, Channel 5, Channel 7, Channel 9. We whooped them all. I thought Channel 9 was nationwide. We even got that. You mean to tell me our little old radio station right there at the WVON morning show? I'm going to tell y'all, we are shaking things up. And that is part of the reason that we have In the Den. So just let me back up. My name is Maze Jackson. I am the host of In the Den. I'm also the host of the WVON morning show. We come on every day, Monday through Friday, from 6 to 9 a.m. And there we talk about the issues that impact the black community. You know I like to ask that question. It's right there. What's in it for the black people? We ask it every day of everybody. We are holding people accountable. The Lion's Den. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let y'all know we have a live studio audience with us today because we are going to be talking to NTA. Now, y'all know how I feel about my babies at NTA. Them babies can't have no education. We're going to talk about that today. We got parents and students in the building. But, you know, let me say this real quick because, you know, this Amazon deal, right? I was a little hesitant about even getting into the conversation, getting into the deal. But the thing I say, as I say to all of us, is we cannot participate if we are not in the game. And if you lose, you don't get a vote. So we got to figure out, how do we win in all of these situations? We can sit on the sidelines and watch, but I'm going to tell y'all what, Amazon get to Chicago, we'll be mad we didn't participate. So I hope that as y'all noticed my quote in the press release, one of the things that I said, that I was looking forward to the great opportunity that Amazon can bring to Chicago, but with everything going on in Chicago, particularly, hear me out, particularly how it will be able to impact the south and west sides of Chicago. Because we think about Amazon, we think about downtown. I'm thinking about, how do we all get a piece? Because that's what we really talk about here. Now, a lot going on this week. Did y'all see the mayor's race is heating up? The mayor's race is heating up. But y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, something don't seem right. You know how I do on my key sweat. Something, 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 something just ain't right. I don't understand why Willie Wilson would donate $100,000 to himself to raise the cap limits on the election. Now, for those of y'all that don't understand what that means, is raising the caps, by donating $100,000 to himself, Willie Wilson has made it so that there are no campaign contribution limits in this mayor's race. Now, I got y'all. Willie Wilson makes some money. He's rich. He's a millionaire. But Rahm Emanuel, y'all, that dude can dial up $100,000 a person. A person. And so, essentially what has happened here today, and I don't know if this was intentional or not intentional, I just can't figure it out. But when Willie Wilson raised the cap limits and donated the $100,000 to his own campaign, he basically sent a signal to all of the wealthy millionaires and billionaires that they could give as much money as they wanted to Rahm Emanuel. And y'all, Rahm got access to capital. Willie Wilson is rich. Rahm's people are wealthy, right? 100,000. Come on, man. This dude is dialing up Steven Spielberg. Willie, hear me out, man. Hear me out. Whoever, y'all, my biggest concern about Willie Wilson, and I told y'all this. I feel like Willie Wilson is probably the second richest candidate in the race, and so everybody is gassing him up to get him in this race because they want to make that retainer, right? Remember, I try to educate y'all. Politics is a business. People get paid off of this. They get paid off the mail. They get paid off the signs. They get paid to consult. They get paid for strategy. So if you ain't got a candidate, then you can't get paid. Y'all, now, if we're going to be smart and we're going to be strategic, black folks, we got to stop putting candidates in front of people and say we hope that nobody else sees the flaws. Like, so, right, we all, this is how black folks think. Black folks say, ooh, we gonna put them in, and why y'all just can't forgive them for that? The fact of the matter is, this game is about exploiting weaknesses. So if the game is to exploit the weakness, then you don't put somebody with a weakness on the field. I'm just, no shade, Willie Wilson. Much love, much respect, but I would think that Mr. Wilson might do a better job supporting someone as compared to taking the lead. But now, essentially what he also did was squeeze out all of the smaller candidates who might be less funded. So you think about a person like an Amara Enya, right? You think about a person who might be, or Troy LaRiviere, who probably would be pretty good candidates, policy-wise. But economics, hey man, Ron gonna dry that money up. Now maybe that's Willie's strategy, which is only the people with money can play. But again, Ron got long money. Long money. And I don't know how many people I contributed to my man Willie Wilson, but y'all know what, I'm gonna let that be. But I'm just letting y'all know, hey, we had Gary McCarthy on this show, and I know y'all get mad at me for talking about Gary McCarthy. But I keep telling you, Gary McCarthy is going to have the mayor doing the tight walk every debate. I'm telling you now, if Gary McCarthy stays in the election to the debates, the mayor's gonna be like, I only want one televised debate. Because do you understand that every time they want to get past Laquan McDonald, there is gonna be Gary McCarthy. And you know, hey, G Money, check this out, bro. You owe me some. Cause did y'all see him in the paper this week? He told the mayor, he said, I talk about policy, you want to talk about Trump. Does that sound familiar? Don't we say you only get 3 Trump cards here? See, I know y'all be watching the WVON morning show. I'm catching y'all. We trying to steal eyes. You only get 3 Trumps. I'm telling you, I don't even think Trump should be a factor in this upcoming election. But you know, what the heck do I know? I would be cursing a little bit more, but we got the baby. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm excited. I see them over there, they bright shining faces. The kids from NTA are here. You know, I'm looking forward to talking to them as well. But I got a couple more things we gotta get. Hey y'all see this governor's race? JB versus Bruce Rauner. Now let me just tell y'all one more time again. I told y'all, I'm through messing with y'all. Y'all gonna stop me with these emotional politics. This is what they told me. They said, T.O., come on, man. We what's in it for the black people. T.O. 2%. 2%. Now, I'm going to tell you all, this is what we got to do, right? And we got to stop being spiritual about this stuff. And we really got to start being transactional, right? We got to start saying, like, we got to stop picking on how we feel in our hearts. And we got to start picking on who we think is going to win and work backwards, right? So if I know that I'm not going to put my vote in the basket for someone that I know is not going to win, because losers don't make policy. Right. So, and check this out. So all y'all was holding hope out for Chuy Garcia. He up and out. He gone to Congress. Y'all think he running a year from now? Heavens no. He's not. And so guys, what I want y'all to understand is stop being emotional when you make your political decisions, right? Look, if the odds tell us that the guy that we don't like is 18 points up, maybe we need to be negotiating with the person that's going to win. I know people say a lot of stuff that sounds really, really, really good. It sounds really, really sexy. But what I tell y'all about getting emotional, no emotions in politics. None. Transaction. This is my list of demands. Period. What you got on it, what you got on it, what you got on it. Whoever crossing the most off the list, that's who I'm rolling with. Because guess what? How many policies did Chuy Garcia check? How many policies is Chris Kennedy going to change right now? Right? And I'm telling you, the numbers told y'all 6 months ago what was happening. Now we talking about we got a debate between Bruce Rauner and J.B. Pritzker. And y'all know dang gone well ain't nobody black voting for no Bruce Rauner. So now what you gonna do? Now who you negotiating with? Now you got to roll it and take what you get. We should have a list for everybody. What's your issue? Is that what you care about? Take that issue to the people and get it dealt with. Look, y'all, this is In the Den. I'm telling y'all, this is our last edition for 8 weeks. Because next week, sitting up here, guess who I'm going to have in the building? Wait a minute, is he a scholar? He's a scholar, he's world traveled, but most of all, he's a philosopher. Wait a minute, a philosopher? That's right. Yes. Yes. That's right, Salim Muwakil will be sitting here next to me. We still have not named the series, but we are going to have a good time. Now, I am Maze Jackson. Y'all notice I got I'm repping today. Do I have any more things I got to cover on my list? You know what, I'm going to go back to the rats and rodents. Real quick. Winnie Mandela passed this week. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we commemorated the 50th anniversary of his passing. Let me tell you that I probably have learned more about Dr. King in the last 2 days than I have in the last 20 years. My perspective on Dr. King has always been the dreamer, right? But I feel like we still live in this nightmare. But as I was listening to a bunch of the speeches this week that they never, somewhere I read, right? That's somewhere I read when today we played on the morning show. Dr. King said he want his check. I want my check. Talked about reparations. We've got to stop looking at the narrative that they have put in front of us of passive black people not fighting for themselves. Winnie Mandela, she passed this week as well. And I always thought of Winnie and Nelson and Winnie as like the first Barack and Michelle. But I also want to just, one of the things that I've reflected on is the fact that, Nelson Mandela unceremoniously removed Winnie Mandela from the government of South Africa, right? Unceremoniously removed Winnie Mandela from the government of South Africa after being in prison for 27 years. And one of the things and one of the questions that I asked is, after 27 years, was Nelson Mandela the best person to lead black folks in South Africa? Y'all, you was locked up 27 years? Be for real. Are you coming out talking about war? You talking about fighting? You talking about, man, I'm trying to get me some action. Just say, ooh, we got the baby. Sorry. But I'm just telling y'all, we got to start looking at perspective and why was Nelson Mandela chosen to lead South Africa at a time when everybody when African nations were getting free in sub-Saharan Africa. Part of his conditions of his release was he had to give up the keys to the nuclear weapons and he had to give up the keys to the guns. So I think, as we look back at that over history, it'll be interesting perspective. Last thing I want to talk about before I get to talk to y'all. Nah, I'm just telling y'all, I'm excited because I got them in the studio. They are here. I see them back there. They all ready, right? You've heard them on the WVON morning show. I got my friends and family from NTA. But before I get into that, let me just say this real quick. I remember 2 years ago, Governor Brown going to a CPS school and saying that it looked like a rundown prison. Remember that, right? And I remember all the big willies and everybody got on the news and the radio and talked. How could he talk about our kids like that, and how could they do it? If this was tea, I'd be sipping it, but it's coffee. But it's mighty funny that we haven't heard all of the same outrage.
Sorry, there's nothing to repeat.
The same outrage when we find out that the contract was given to a good friend of somebody we know around these parts. Where is the outrage? So when I open up the newspaper and I see that it's rats, rodents, and mice and critters in the schools, in CPS schools, I say, where is the outrage? Where is somebody? How come ain't nobody on TV crying now? Airmark, right? Victor Crawford. It's a sister from Chicago. Hey sis, it's your man Maze. I reached out to you. I'm not going to do you right now. I'm not going to put you on blast. But we want to talk to Victor Crawford because we want to understand why our kids have to go to rat, roaches, and schools that are infested with vermin. Why is that okay? When they blitzed the schools, why was it most of the schools that they blitzed, that was occurring for black students? Is it coincidental that we talk about the school to prison pipeline at CPS? Because what they say, CPS is the #1 supplier of inmates for Chicago. So are we institutionalizing them at school, preparing them for what they should expect? Is it a coincidence that Aramark is also, that is representing our CPS schools, is also one of the largest vendors and suppliers for the prison industrial complex? Y'all, somewhere I read, ain't that what Dr. King said? Somewhere I read that we want our kids to be treated equal. Now, I'm gonna stop it right there, because we gonna figure out this CPS thing. But speaking of CPS, now y'all know I can't even front. Y'all know I can't front. Janice Jackson, that's my girl. It's my girl. It's my girl. Don't make that face. I see you making that face over there. It's okay. It's okay. Janice Jackson, that's my girl. I ain't going in front, y'all. But I'm going to point to one incident today that we saw that I believe epitomizes where Janice Jackson is, even as it relates to NTA. And we're going to bring everybody in. Did anybody see that Superintendent Eddie Johnson wrote a letter saying that he justified the killing of Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones? Did y'all see that? I was like, really, Eddie? Really? Really? But what it was is, y'all, is that what happens is black folks, they give us the top spot. They give you the top spot, or the second to the top spot, because the mayor is really the top spot. But then they got all these agency heads. And so when we finally get to the top, usually we get the top spot when it's some book. We got the babies here. Dang-nabbit. When it's some bull stuff going on is when usually the black person gets the top job. And then the black person got to march out in front of the black people and say, I'm sorry, y'all, but I had to justify this shoot. And then the other guy get to kind of just stay back. It wasn't me, it was them. So we saw that with Eddie Johnson, with this Quintonio LeGrier. And I fear that we're going to see it with Janice Jackson. We're seeing it with Janice Jackson, but y'all, I just can't give up. We can't give up. We can't say. I'm sitting over here looking at the babies right now, and I'm saying I just can't give up the fight. So let's do this now, because I've been talked all day. Let's start this. All right, we are going to bring Veronica Schmidt. She is a parent and the PAC chair. Is the PAC? PAC chair of the Parent Advisory Council. And then who else do I have coming today?
You want me to say something?
Yeah, we'll take them both. Matsuo Marty.
Yeah.
Come on. And now y'all gonna have to give me one of the babies. You're gonna have to give me one of the babies. So you just sit. No, you sit there, and we gonna put me one. Come on, you sit right here. No, I gotta keep y'all on the camera. We'll do that. I'm gonna have it some time. The baby's gonna have their own time. So we gonna have you sit right here. Now you see yourself right here. You just gonna come in a minute. All right. All right. That's you, right? That's you, right? Okay, so I'm gonna do this so I just don't mess up no names. And Veronica Schmidt. Okay, so let's back up and let's start here. First of all, let me welcome everybody to In the Den. Welcome Veronica Schmidt. Now, Veronica Schmidt is a parent of a second grader, and you are the Parent Advisory Council Chair.
Yes.
Hey, okay. Then we have, now how do I say this? Marie. See, what have I been saying? I don't know. I don't know what you've been saying. Okay, Marie Crawford. And then Matsuo Marty, and you are a parent of a first grader, and you are a co-chair of the Parent Advisory Council. Correct?
Correct.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking about NTA. You know, this situation was brought to my attention, maybe back a little bit less than a year ago. The situation at NTA was brought to my attention, where here we have a high-performing school, a level 1 school that was, you know what, how about this? Let me do this. Let's back up. I don't have to tell the story. Veronica, tell us the story. What's going on over at NTA?
Okay, so NTA is a level 1 plus elementary school, K through 8.
Okay.
And we found out about this time last year, really, that they were planning on taking it to be a high school for South Loop.
Okay.
Which we don't agree with. Amazing things are happening in that building. Amazing. It's wonderful. I mean, you've met a couple of the babies. They're all amazing.
So help me out, guys. So here we have this high-performing school that was built on the land of what used to be Chicago Housing Projects, right? The former land of the Ickies. The school was built sort of as a compromise to make sure that the families that were being moved out of the Ickies, the people that remained, were able to participate and have a part of the education. Now, since then, the South Loop, that area, which was the Ickies, we used to call it the low end, has now changed. It's become pretty diverse. Because actually, you know, I tell the story and I always say black folks, but it looks like it's a pretty diverse school. So, Marie, tell me about your school. Tell me a little bit about NTA and why are we trying to save it?
Well, a little bit about NTA is that they offer a lot of stuff that other schools don't have. Like, we have a pool, we have a gym room, we have teachers that's willing to stay after school and help us with our schoolwork or catch us up if we miss a day. We have a nice support team, we have a counselor. Like, it's a lot of stuff that we go through that most schools don't have. And we're a level 1 plus school, we're not struggling. So I don't understand why it's my school that's chosen to be closing or transitioning, as they say, which actually is a phase out, which leads to a closing.
So first of all, see, how can y'all put these babies out of school? That is ridiculous to me. It is crazy to me. First of all, let me say that, did you hear what she described at the school? I would feel like that should be the norm for schools. That should be the norm for every school, right? So here we have a situation where we have what we've been asking for our students finally occurring. And when we finally get it right, CPS is trying to move them out. Now, Maxwell, tell me, why are they trying to move you guys out?
Well, I mean, you understand that Chicago is it's a very diverse city, but it's really the home of 2 Chicagos. There's the great Chicago that the mayor wants to sell, right? And he's begging to get Amazon here.
We are number 1, just for the record. Go ahead.
And we also know that there's another experience for other people in Chicago.
Okay.
Right. I mean, historically, Chicago has been about marginalizing people. Right. We are in the land of the low ends, as you say. Right. The whole Dan Ryan Expressway was built to divide.
Man, you seem like you know some history, man.
I mean, like, if we really look at our school is 80% African American. 80% of our families receive free and reduced lunch, right? So you talk about, just on surface, a school that people would describe as, it's low functioning. However, 75% of our students score better than students across the country, right? Our students grow more than 75% of students across the country. And our 7th and 8th graders actually grow greater than 90% of students across the country.
Okay, so you gotta stop, because you're flooding me with all of these great statistics, but yet and still, you all went in front of the school board, presented. I watched that whole dang on thing. I was watching it from Facebook Live. Next time that happens, y'all let me know so I could be there too, and we make sure we get some more. But I was watching it, and everybody got up there and they patted you on the back and they said, "Oh, we commend y'all. This is so great. Y'all are doing what we want our kids to do." Close the dang on school. What happened?
It's like The Wire. The game is rigged. I mean, what else can you say?
What happened? I mean, how did this happen?
Well, from what we've found out, it seems like this was a deal between the mayor and a group of people in the South Loop.
Who's the group of people?
They're called the Prairie District Neighborhood Alliance, PDNA.
Okay, I've heard of them.
Yeah, and so like one of the people there is a real estate agent, and I don't know what one does, I don't really know much about them, but, you know, they were they helped architect this plan, to my understanding. And it basically, to me, sounds like Ron Emanuel said, yeah, you can have that building, so it's gonna happen. Janice Jackson can't stop it, nobody can stop it.
No, what? Nah, I ain't gonna say that. We ain't gonna say
Well, I'm
can't
not gonna say it
nobody
either, because
stop.
we're gonna stop it.
That and that's what we're here for today. So let me ask you a question. Why do you think you were not successful? I mean, I'm looking at these kids. It seemed like they figured out a compromise at Inglewood. Why do we think that NTA was not successful in their challenge of this deal?
Because I think Rahm Emanuel wants it to happen. Yeah, I mean, the board was not voting on it. I don't really think it was a board. They were not I mean, we presented them with a lot of information and they called us conspiracy theorists. They said that we were calling Janice Jackson a liar because she turned facts around and said that like our students weren't going to level 1 plus high schools or to their high schools of their choice. And we said, well, no, she said that, but we have the proof. And then he said, I won't stand for you calling her a liar. And we're like, nobody's calling her a liar. I mean, it's just, we never had any gravitas. Anything we said was wrong.
You kicked off today's show talking about Laquan McDonald.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Yes.
All right, now this is conspiracy theory.
Go ahead.
You can choose to believe it or not.
Go ahead.
Right? The tapes were delayed, right? If the tapes were released at the time of the election, I believe the outcome would be different, right? The mayor knows that an election is coming up, and he's got some competition, particularly about the Laquan McDonald shooting, right? And about getting black votes. In 2016, CPS set aside $75 million to build one brand new high school on the south side. Some of the neighborhoods in consideration, Inglewood, Roseland, and Chinatown, right? The mayor decided on his own that, hey, it's gonna be Inglewood, and he announced that before the board actually voted, right? So you can speculate why he would want to build this brand new high school in Inglewood, but in doing so, he turned his back on voters in Chinatown and the South Loop community. And so it seems like a way to appease those people was to turn NTA, right? Take a vital resource that's actually growing and transforming the lives of young black people. Not only students like this, but I'm talking about generations of students to come up, right? And just take that from them.
Hey, I just want to point out something else that just happened that probably nobody paid attention to. I'm not going to say it's a conspiracy, but I'm going to say that there's something going on. And there's different ways that things happen, and there's different ways that you build a patronage army, right? So back in the day, we used to get jobs and contracts directly from your ward committeeman, your ward alderman, etc. Patronage was destabilized, eliminated with Shackman. So now what you see is a lot of privatized contracts that come out, and those contracts then provide the financial wherewithal to finance the Army. Now I'm gonna get in trouble, and I'm gonna tell you that your boy is probably gonna start a whole nother podcast series talking about me, but we need to take a look at the Safe Passage program, right? The Safe Passage program is essentially a patronage army, right? It is a way to pay and employ people. No diss, we want to make sure everybody gets their piece, but understand that that is also happening simultaneously. So remember those West Inglewood people that showed up at the events and all of that good stuff? Guys, it's all part of the machinations that occur. So you remember how I tell y'all not gonna get me again, right? Because I'm telling you, I'm watching the groundwork being laid as we speak, right? You wonder how Ron wins all the black wards, etc. Because guess what? See all them green shirts that's standing outside every day when you come home at 3 o'clock that's just standing out there in them corners? That's part of it. When you talk about the school being built in Inglewood, right, and you're projecting out, we think 3 weeks in advance, if that. They think in 3-4 years in advance, right? So this is what you just saw you saying. So I don't say it's a conspiracy theory. I'm saying, hey man, it's called planning, right? It's called planning and it's called being proactive. And where are we in this situation? Tell me, where do you think NTA went wrong? Where did NTA go wrong? That's what I'm talking about.
I necessarily don't think that we went wrong. I think it was their planning that went wrong because you made a decision without involving us in it, and we're the ones that's being affected. But like we've been told before, we shouldn't care because we're not the ones that's going to be affected by it because we're going to high school. Technically, we're still being affected by it because that's our second home for one. We have siblings that go to that school. And that's basically where we grew up at. We didn't invest the time like this. Most of us, they would say that we don't care enough, but you don't really see students out here fighting for a school that they have, that made a difference in their life. Like a lot of us, we go through a lot of stuff, but what we have at our school is helping us get through those problems. Like a lot of us don't have certain stuff that other kids might have, but academically, we're on top. So I think they went wrong and it wasn't us.
So, Marie, you know what, Taylor, come on up. Come on. Let us sit right here for a minute. Cause y'all, this is disconcerting to me. When you see these beautiful kids, and I find it disconcerting that we would participate in snatching the rug out from underneath them. I'm gonna speak to both of the young ladies real quickly. I always hear about kids who don't want to be in school. They always talk about, man, like if I was hear the most kids, you was telling them their school is gonna close, they want the school to close. Why does NTA mean so much to you?
I would say NTA means so much to me because, like Marie said, it is a second home. I mean, I've been at NTA since first grade, and like just being there changed my whole life, I would say. I was like really shy coming into NTA, but like over time, coming over like to an 8th grader, I've gotten like out of my shell and stuff. NTA means so much to me, and like everyone that has been affected by the community. It means so much to us because it's something that other schools, like Maria said, aren't like, which they should be, but it's something that like we have and others don't.
Have you all had the opportunity to speak to the mayor or the alderman and let them know how you feel directly?
We had that opportunity, but we know how they like to play their game, so we decided not to go and meet with them because then they have the
asked to
right.
meet with you?
Yeah, we planned the whole thing out, but then we realized they could say that they spoke to us and they still don't want to make that decision of what's right. They still want to go with their plan. So we decided that we're not going to give you that type of power to say that you spoke to us when really we go to your meetings and you decide to make a transition, but technically you still not listening to us.
Now, I do have a question. I mean, y'all are graduating.
Yeah.
Y'all leaving. Like, what? I mean, seriously, you got yours. Why are you standing here still around here trying to fight? And what you, 8th grade?
Mm-hmm.
What you, 8th grade? So y'all about to leave. Y'all going to high school? What high school you went to?
That's a good question.
Oh, you know high school?
Ogden.
Ogden?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. You going to Ogden? Mm-hmm. And wait, what's your options?
I have De La Salle, Chicago Hope Academy, Jones Pre-Engineering, Jones Law, and a lot of other options.
Let me look at my face, right? How do I do this? For real?
For real.
For real. Y'all, so y'all about to play the babies. She going to engineering school. Do you know what it takes to get into Ogden?
A lot.
Right? And we so now, help me understand why you good. You are good. You good. Y'all gonna be straight. Y'all about, you know what, when y'all are like astronauts or like doctors or whatever, y'all come back and y'all make sure y'all don't forget the little people, okay? Do not forget the little people. But why do you care about what's gonna happen? You leaving. Why? Why? You both of y'all.
I would say I care because I have little cousins that goes there, But not even that. It's just that, like I said, you can't let go of something that means so much to you in the way that CPS is trying to make us let go. I mean, I care and I'm still fighting for NTA and I will continue fighting for NTA. And NTA will continue to fight for NTA because we care. We have hearts. And like what CPS is doing, it's like they have no heart.
I care like what Taylor said, we have family members. But even if I didn't have family members, I still care because I've impacted the younger kids' lives. And they have the understanding of what's going on, but they don't have the full story. And I feel like what's going on is going to build them up to be stronger and know that you always have a fight in something. If you never give up, you can achieve your goals.
Like, seriously. This is not the story that we hear. You know, we hear the man get on the news and like, we want to make sure everybody's got a future. And when it's a shooting, then we all want to be in the front of it and say, dang, what could we have done? We want to go get shot spotter. They will go spend millions of dollars on technology. Shot spotter. Hey, y'all, we got shot spotter. We down 15% of our crime. But yet and still you got a school that is making shot spotter not necessary. Like, we got people profiting off of the murder, death, and killing of our kids. And then you got kids that are saying, look, I want to make it better for the future. See that I have a dream stuff y'all was talking about? See, now, because then we're going to all be at the King Day breakfast, right? We're going to all be at the King Day breakfast. See why I told y'all we need to switch up the speech? I told y'all we need to switch up the speech and stop talking this I have a dream stuff, because these kids are living a nightmare currently. There's no A in currently, kids. Because you know the NTA kids be like, excuse me, Mr. Jackson, you did not spell that correctly. It's currently, right?
That's exactly how I am.
You know, I was having a conversation about being what it was like to be a gifted child growing up. Then I read Charlemagne the God's book, Black Privilege. And he talked about being a smart black kid growing up. And I read Ta-Nehisi Coates' book, and he talked about being a smart black kid growing up. And I related it to my own experience, being a smart or being identified as a gifted black child. And I think about that title growing up, and it was not a badge of honor, but a badge of shame, right? I didn't want to be smart. I didn't want to be part of the gifted program. And I think about all of those books, and it was a common theme of all of everybody saying, because being a gifted black child in America is a challenge. Because when you are a gifted black child in America, oftentimes everybody has not had the same things poured into them. And so what winds up happening is, as a gifted black child, you want to deny your giftedness because you don't have peers that are part of that. And so when I see these two and they're bouncing off each other, and I saw all those kids, you know what, you can leave because I'm talking to the babies. I'm sorry, I don't want to disrespect you, but you know, we don't talk to the kids. I got the kids, so we got to go. Thank y'all. Thank you very much. But I think back to, you scoot over there, you can sit right here. We gonna make this all in the middle. Right. Man, y'all see each other, everybody see each other. Right, you good, you good. I think about what happens to so many black kids that fall through the cracks. I think about how many gifted black kids don't get to go to a school that is filled with gifted black kids. And so they are then not corrupted, but they are then claimed by the masses, right? Who ain't going somewhere. And I look at a safe haven, a place where I wish that I could have looked up and looked around and not been the only black gifted kid in my class. That I could have said, man, I read this book yesterday and not feel like an idiot. And I am at a loss as to what to do. You know, Tennille said, Maze, why are we bringing NTA back? And I said, because we got to do something. We can't just let this happen. I mean, I'm going to tell y'all, when Sonya hits the button on those commercials on WVON, can I tell you the first thing that happens? The alderman calls and say, why they picking on me? And I'll be like, why are you picking on my babies? I'm going to tell you, we pay a price. We pay a price for this. They threaten, we get all types of stuff because of this NTA thing. But I just feel like we all have to protect our kids. Somebody has got to say, it ain't okay. We hear the stories all the time of black kids who say they don't want to be smart. We look at all the Instagram models and the twerking and then you look at these babies. Okay, look at the camera, look at the camera. Mr. Mayor, you lucky I can't call you right now, because I'll call you right now. Sonya, we ain't got the button, we can just call him, because we'll call him. Hey, yo, black folks, our kids cannot be expendable. Black children are not expendable. And there needs to be outrage. See, my concern is this. If they could do it to them, they could do it to them. Look at these faces. Then what do you think is going to happen to the kid who don't have? I mean, these kids got an army. They got mobilized parents. Their parents are fighting. And they have done everything that we tell our kids they are supposed to do. I mean, they out on it's Thursday night. Ain't something good on TV? I know y'all could be watching YouTube. My kid's probably somewhere right now like, I wish my dad would get off this Facebook Live. But it is important that our kids know, it is important to me that these kids know that there are people willing to fight for them, that are willing to go to the mat. If they gonna be out here on the front lines fighting, then we gotta be on the front lines out here fighting with them. These are our children. We cannot let our children be eaten before they have the opportunity to fully develop. These are the best and brightest, right? So we talk about AQ2 or whatever it is, and I'm Amazon. I'm all in for the kids, right? For we want to see the plan to protect the kids. Now, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all talk. Tell me what we can do. Tell us what you all think that the rest of the city can do, and how can I be helpful? How can we help you all fight for the next generation? Because I mean, good Lord, look at these babies talking about they want to fight. Do we have any questions we want to talk to? Okay, go ahead. Let you say too.
I think what everyone can do to like help NTA is stand up for what they believe is right. I feel like everyone should stand up for what is right, because if you don't, then no one will ever know what's wrong. I feel like we can get together and work something out so we can keep our school. I feel like everyone could try to help and make something great for us.
I want to say that I just
Okay, it's okay. I got you until you get it together. Look, y'all. Now. Okay, you got it.
I just want to say this. If you don't believe what we actually saying, and like they might think that it's not actually true what goes on at our school, call our principal. Ask if you could schedule a walkthrough to see how the classes go. Because what you see right here is real. Tears are real. Smiles are real. We go through so much stuff. Like he said, what time is it? It's 8:17. We could be at home, eating, not caring about what's going on.
You about to graduate. You only got a few months left.
Yeah.
You walking around here. You probably walking around the school with that 8th grade swag, ain't you?
Honestly, yes. Because we get an 8th grade trip. We done been on other trips, and it's our teachers that's investing that time in us. They want us to believe that if we work hard, you experience more stuff. Like, you give gifts for working hard and being who you are as a person. Like, you don't have to please nobody but yourself and making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing without worrying about other people. Like, it's not good to be in a wrong type of crowd. And that's what they try to tell us. Like, be yourself. Be around people who you know gonna push you to the highest limit, to where you able to go through the right path and be who you want to be at the end of the day. Because what everybody else doing, that's not gonna matter at the end of the day, because you live in your life, not somebody else's.
Now, see, man, I mean, that's a little bit better than twerking, right? Right?
A lot.
See, I'm just saying, I want y'all to understand. I mean, I want y'all to understand, because, you know, we see all the World Star videos. We see everybody on the bus. We always talk about the worst of our kids. The worst. And now here you are talking about the best, right? They will invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in crime prevention. Y'all, when I think about what's happening at NTA, sometimes it makes me think that they really don't want the shootings to stop. When I listen to kids like this and know that they don't get a voice, but we'll run around and take pictures with people popping off t-shirts, right? Right? Everybody want to get the t-shirts and somebody that's gonna be the cool kid, but these are the future bosses. These are the future leaders. But you know what? It just dawned on me that is it possible that they don't want them to be our future leaders?
Mm-hmm. We're gonna use the topic. We're gonna do what's right.
Is it possible that they don't want us to have young, vociferous advocates that have been fighting for the best for themselves? Is it possible that they don't want them to become contagious? Is it possible that they don't want them going to the other schools that are underperforming and saying and making demands for themselves? What they say from the mouths of babes, from the mouths of children, let a child will lead them. Yeah, something else is going on. Let me. Y'all got some great comments. People are watching. They are loving you. We only got 10 minutes left. Let me say this. Shout out to Deborah Jones. Deborah Jones said most black kids are gifted. They just don't have anyone to help them. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that because I think that, you know what, every time I talk to a kid, they got a plan. It's just they don't want to do the stuff we tell them to do as a parent. Mary A is a shining A example of what NTA students become. That's from Autumn. What can NTA do now? From Patty Garcia. What can we do now, you all? What can we do? What do you think? What do you think? You can tell us from the audience.
JP?
Yes. Any thoughts on what we can do now? I mean, do we go to city council? Yeah, we got an election coming up, right? We got an election coming up. Now, I don't know how big NTA, I don't know how large of an impact NTA can have citywide. But I do believe that NTA can have an impact ward-wide, right? So if you think about how many kids go to NTA, each one of those kids represents 2 parents. Now, I know NTA is all around the city, but if you do the math, right, and you go by precinct, and you say, okay, how many NTA parents live in each precinct, and what ward is this in? What ward is this?
Third.
The 3rd ward. Who's the alderman?
At Dowell.
Okay, so then my guess would be that probably what we should do, right, is we should start organizing. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, this is my political hat. I'll put it on real quick. what we should do is we should get a list of every parent, every kid get their address. Then have the parents of each one of those organize their block, right? And say, hey, look, my kid is about to get put out of school. Can I get you to help me? And would you support it? I'm going to tell you that all you got to do is get these kids for somebody to see them, and they will be in support of it. And then we go block by block, precinct by precinct, and we start doing the math. And then we say, then what we do is we go back to the alderman, and we go back with signed petitions from people. See, but here's what we got to do. We got to make sure they all live in her ward, right? Because if they're from everywhere else, she ain't gonna care. But if you do it in the ward, then she like, wait a minute, they got 3,000 signatures? That's halfway to me getting out of my job. See what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, we can work on this. We can do something. We can do something. Now, y'all know, like, y'all already got me in trouble. Y'all know that, right? I'm already on the whooping list. But hey, I get in trouble every day on the WVON morning show. You know what I'm saying? But it's worth it for the kids, because the kids got to know that we're willing to fight for them, that we are willing to get out there on the front lines. And I'm going to tell y'all what. Can I tell y'all that the NTA parents, I've only seen one other school organized like this. And I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but I've only seen one other one. They won. That was Skinner. Skinner, to me, NTA has the potential to be what Skinner is. Skinner, my kids went to Skinner, or my daughter went to Skinner, and it is the elite grammar school. When I used to go there, it used to be all the two-digit, everybody who put their kid in school went there. NTA seems to be that same type of school, because so many people live in the South Loop. Yeah, we have to make NTA an asset to the city. It has to become the shining jewel of the South Side for gifted black students. I don't think that there are any better representatives of what we want outcomes for our students to be than the two of you. I'm gonna tell y'all, the two of you all make me so proud every time I talk to y'all, and I just like, look at their faces, look at them. How could you? See, y'all gonna have me at Ron's house. Why y'all gonna have me going to Ron's house? I'm already in trouble, y'all. But I'm. What'd you say?
That's his fault. That's right.
Do the kids right. So look, what are y'all doing to help the next year's kids? What are you telling them? What are we doing? What are you all doing to encourage them to keep the fight?
Exactly what we're doing now. Like, we've had a pie day where some of the algebra students, there's something else that our school offers. It's algebra and pre-algebra, and a lot of schools don't have that. And we also do museum walk for kindergarten through 8th grade, but it gets more advanced throughout
Your years.
But, is that what you want to say?
What are you doing for the kids that are coming behind you? What are you telling them to do to protect their school in the fight?
Like Maria said, we're doing what we're doing now. We're speaking out, and like that's something that can really impact us in a good way when we speak out. Like the Pi Day and things. I'm a part of like a math mentor when I go to the first floor where the first and kindergartens are, and we teach them math. We teach them math every Friday for like 20 minutes, and that 20 minutes for an individual person can change a lot. We've seen so much growth from the students already, and it's so good. Like, you walk down on the first floor on a Friday, and all you see is like little groups of students with an older kid, 8th grader and 7th graders, grouped up in a hall.
Why does this sound like some each one teach one type stuff? Why is this everything that we supposed to be doing, and we getting penalized for it? Y'all, I'm gonna tell you. We gotta put some thought to this. For whatever reason it is, some kind of way, y'all have touched something in me, and we have got to figure out how we're gonna deal with this. So look, this is what I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna do. I am going to commit to donating some political strategy time, energy, and effort to working with you all to organize this movement. I think the key is they're gonna try and wait us out, so we gotta keep it top of mind. I don't think until they knock the building down that we give up, right? Now y'all gotta make a commitment, cause let me tell you, I know how this works. Y'all gonna be big time freshmen. Y'all gonna be celebrities at the school you go to, and then I'm gonna be like, look y'all, we gotta move on. You're gonna be like, you know I gotta go to the game tonight. So I just wanna encourage y'all, don't forget the kids when you leave. I know you won't. I have.
Mentor.
And so, huh?
She's a mentor of one of the parents.
See? Mentors!
Yes.
See, look y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, it's gonna be a problem. Hey, Principal Elania Moore, we gotta organize all these kids. You know what I think? I think we need to start organizing the kids in all of these schools too, to take an active role in their leadership. Most change comes from the kids, but we gotta educate them. Hey y'all, this is In the Den. I don't think there's a better way that I could wrap up this series. This is our last week, and we will be next week. We'll be doing. We still have not named the podcast, but we will have Salim Muwakil in the Den with Salim Muwakil. But I'm here with the students from NTA, National Teachers Academy. I'm here with the students from the National Teachers Academy. We got the parents. We got the Parents Association, but we don't really care about the parents that much. We want to talk to the kids. We appreciate the parents for all the work and bringing them out. But we want to make sure that we celebrate, honor, and support these young people that are on the front lines. They are not everything that we see. We always see the negative, they are the positive. Look, I'm going to let both of you all close out. Who wants to go first and who wants to go last? Look at Marie. Let me tell y'all what. Marie is practicing to be somebody's press secretary. We're going to look up and 20 years later, she is going to be at the White House talking about next question. Next question. All right, go ahead.
Okay, NTA has so much to offer for the students, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. Yeah, I am graduating this year, and like I am sad to leave, but that don't mean I will stop fighting for NTA. I will always be fighting for NTA. NTA has always been my home, and it will always be my home.
I want to say that if y'all need any more information, that we do have a JP's Corner. I think it's on Fridays from 8:45 in the morning to 10.
Wait, JP's Corner. What does that mean?
So it's JP, he's our security guard.
NTA is JP's Corner.
Yeah. Without JP, there is no NTA.
Yep.
So every Friday morning, we have a little meeting
Come
with
on, JP. Have a seat right there. I know we got to wrap this up. Everybody, this is JP. JP, you've been at the school. I think I met you when I came to the school. Tell us real quick what you do over at the school and how you keep it together.
Thanks for having me here tonight, Maze. But first of all, I'd like to commend these young ladies for their hard effort that they put down. Myself, I've been at National Teachers Academy since 2002. I am the sole founder of National Teachers Academy, and I've seen the best and the brightest of all come out of National Teachers Academy. The teachers, the administrators, the staff, we like a family as one. For JP's Corner, it's been founded back here in 2002 through one of the administrators, which is Dr. Terry Lundy, that encouraged me to get out and get parents together and organize parents and everything, and just to have the parents come in to feel some comfort and to feel wanted. That's the thing. We have to make our parents feel comforted inside our school, because this is where their children go to school at. So I said I will come up with something where we'll all sit down and we'll discuss topics about everything that goes on inside National Teachers Academy. And so this is something we've been doing for many, many years. And so those that don't know about it, you should come join us to find out the fight of NTA, because we are one family that never quits, and we are here always gonna work to make things best for our young, bright stars, as I call them, the bright stars of NTA. And this is what we do.
I gotta wrap it, but is there a website, or where can people go to get more information? Website, Facebook page, Twitter account, what can we do?
We are NTA.
We are NTA for our social media accounts.
Here, right there.
So
Yeah,
we
we are
are
NTA.com.
NTA.com, and for all our social medias accounts, we are NTA.
Yeah, Twitter,
Hey, y'all.
Instagram.
I am your host, Mace Jackson, for In the Den. This has been our 5th episode. Next week, this will not be In the Den. I will be joined with Salim Muwakil. Wait a minute, Salim Muwakil, is he a philosopher? Yes. Chip, chip, yes. So, but for Sonia Escobar, the executive producer of In the Den, for Brother Edward Muhammad, he is our cinematographer and our audio tech. For Aunt Tennille, she said, don't be calling me Aunt Tennille. My name is Tennille. Our social media expert extraordinaire. We are NTA, y'all. We got the students here. You know what? I wore my Christ the King today representing for my son, because I just wanted to represent for him. But I need me an NTA sweatshirt. Can y'all look that up?
Yep.
Like, save NTA sweatshirt.
Wait, what kind?
Huh?
What kind?
What you
Yeah,
mean?
we got Black Students Matter. And
Man!
Polo.
I want it all. I'm going to rock it all. Look, we'll rock it. I'm going to have a whole wardrobe. Y'all let me know. Look, until next week, I am your host, Mace Jackson. This has been In the Den with NTA in the building. We're going to save our students, y'all. And if you don't like it, you can tell them, Mace said. We out of here. Peace. Thank you all. You all are excellent. Excellent. Man, we got to get y'all some communications internship.